For this reason, I decided to finally create a video about accommodation and how to choose the place which has so nice panorama. In front of you, 5 tips to medium and long-term stay rentals. First things first, your accommodation will very much depend on the type of your stay. So if it's going to be a workation, pure holidays, etc., you have to take all of those things into account. So the first topic is generic one. What's your purpose of the stay and what you need to make sure that surroundings has to offer for you. With that being said, if it's workation, you need to have some sort of proper chairs to work in front of your laptop. Also, you need to make sure that Wi-Fi is good. Those are usually very easy to filter out. Make sure to clarify this to the host because sometimes it's SIM related connection. So basically what you have in your phone, that will also applies to what speed you have on the laptop. And sometimes it's very bad. Our generic things very much depends whether you will be with a car, whether you will rent a car, or you use just public transport from the airport. Based on that, it will depend how easy or hard it will be to go to the same airport if you go by the plane. Of course, everything is possible, but just thinking about it up front can simplify your life a bit. After a while, you get used to these type of things quite a lot, and it's like nothing serious and nothing to be worried about. Usually when accommodation type of things comes into place, I try to avoid the cost side of things because it's the same as flying with airlines. Some might want business class, others are fine with economy, but there are just essential things which are nice to have, like washer, if you have a car, free parking somewhere, etc. So those type of things should be looked at when you're looking for mid to long-term stays in order to simplify your daily life throughout that time frame. In order to increase the chances of finding accommodation in your preferred place as well as save a bit of money, there is twofold second tip, which is try to book it as early as possible and also look for free cancellation options. So if you know that at some point in the calendar you are going to that location, look for rentals with free cancellation option. The supply will be the biggest if you look like half-year time frame up front, so you will have basically every available property there to be rented. In that sense, you can get a better price and also free cancellation option, which will enable you to cancel if something changes and you are not coming there, etc. So that's the way how to trim your costs significantly, by looking at it up front. And at the same time, if for example something changes and you want to change location, you can just cancel that property until the free cancellation period ends and have just options to choose other things. Yes, at certain degree you make your money locked in, but at the same time you are saving and you are making sure that your holiday trip or whatever is pretty much guaranteed. So something to keep in mind. What's next? Third tip depends very much on the place where you book that accommodation, but for the sake of this example, let's make it as generic as possible. You find a place for 2 people, but you can see that that apartment is for 6 persons, for example. Try to change the amount of people. If you change the amount of people and the price does not change, you're just benefiting in case someone wants to come by to your place. If that doesn't affect the cost, then you can just benefit out of it by setting the maximum allowed persons amount. And then who knows, maybe you can save some soul from issues which they're experiencing. So that's just additional thing which you can play around with. When it comes to short-term rentals, it's very crucial to understand that usually the host set the price that even if someone books for 2, 1, 3 days, it would be still beneficial for them to clean an apartment, do the cleaning service, etc. That in mind, when you are renting through some platform and you are doing that for 2 weeks, 1 month, sometimes they by default include some discount, like let's say 10%, sometimes even more. It doesn't hurt to ask the host if it's the best what they can offer. 9 times out of 10, the host will be very much interested to give you a discount on longer stays rather than having multiple guests throughout that time frame and do all the servicing, cleaning, etc. things, as well as communication. For them, it's beneficial to have someone for a longer stay. Well, there are some pros and cons for them as well because of that, but just as I said, it doesn't hurt to ask. If you are not flexible, maybe their daily price is already low, that's also fine. Just give it a shot and maybe you can save a few hundreds here and there, so why not try that? And talking about trying, there is one other thing which I'm not big fan of, but I know that some people do that, and there are two ways how to approach it. Regardless what rental booking platform it is, there are always some companies who have their listings out there. That means that based on the company name, you can try to Google out their own website, and very much often they have better prices there because they no longer have to give a cut to service fees for booking, Airbnb, etc. So in that sense, you can try to find the company directly and contact it directly as well. That is kind of still not a shady business because you contact the company and they're still having the contracts, paying taxes, etc. So that type of thing, if you want to reduce your expenditure a bit, is fine. Somehow I feel that renting through the platforms give you more policy, more protection, etc. So that's why I always try to stay within the platform rather than go outside of it, even though it's legit, etc. So you never know what's hiding behind those companies. So I had here one story in Poland in 2024. Before a bike adventure, we rented an apartment which was hosted by the company through Airbnb. We booked it through the Airbnb and we had problems with electricity. We had no electricity at all and the company did nothing. With that in mind, we contacted the support. We were not able to contact them neither. We just got a refund, also additional tip, and that kind of saved our upfront holidays as well as the bike adventure 2024 race. So we just had to relocate to a different place. On the contrary, if you rent not from the platform, who knows how such situations would be unveiled. Success. Okay. There's also ways to find someone who rents directly, just pay them in cash and that's pretty much it. But that's where you have zero payment protection and you are basically just hoping everything will be fine. Myself, I avoid those at any given cost. Last thing which I would want is to have any sort of problems. So I pay extra and I stay through the booking platforms. And that's how I ended up in this one, which has very nice terrace, but it's nice only when it's with them. Yeah. If you like such tips, let me know in the comments, and maybe in the future I will come up with a video where I cover what to take into account when renting something during winter in the south. Because even though it's south, it's still winter time and there are some things to take into account, which this year in Spain for 2 months I learned in a hard way. While you're still here and if not yet, make sure to follow the channel. Leave some comment about your experiences with rentals because I'm pretty sure that everyone has some sort of tip from their past experiences.